Let's finish this case. I'll continue.
I see. That's a good answer, I
Must admit.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's Bayakoya's attitude? He doesn't even care. I'm cornered, but he's acting like it was nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Didn't happen in the
We
boy,
just
the
talked
girls'
about
locker room.
the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Differences between the case and the other Genocide Jack murders. Evidence that proves Bayakoya is responsible for is hidden in there. What could it be? Make your argument.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissor. And I use
I wanted to
those
shoot it.
scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
God, you're
Obviously,
good.
Somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain
He
it?
countered
I
me, man.
want to kill, and I use those same scissors. But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be some...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
No. Doing it again. Totally calm, totally unconcerned. Many even involved. Many even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Isn't that right? Nothing found in the girls' locker room, but does this mean? Really said what Byakuya said that that's the truth? I don't think so. Definitely something about what seemed to crime.
I got it!
I
You
got
say
it.
you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Byakuya, did you just take you off guard? Story suddenly moved to the crime scene by Byakuya, who's been so confident up until now. Never realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto.
I just don't get the accomplice play. Like, don't they still die? Only the blackened lids?
If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Does either or work? I think the carpet makes the most sense to present this one over the posters, but something that was switched between the boys and girls locker room. What did I just do? Okay, we had to do the other one first, and then we do the carpet. Okay.
I got it!
I got it.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Why don't they have a pause between the
That
lines
doesn't
there like
really
that?
seem to belong in a
Like they
boys'
recorded two
locker
different lines, like separately.
So you're saying
It is
that
open
maybe
to
the posters
other
were
options.
switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
You're wrong, kiddo. The thing wasn't scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it!
Got it.
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, Then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
She got Leon's handbook.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook
Because she fried
across
hers.
the card reader device. But
I pay attention.
Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to
And
the
then you read
girls'
the
locker
options
room.
during selection is completely wrong.
She
But
had
and
no
I
way
listen.
to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
It's very wrong, kiddo. Plus, I'm a C tier.
Way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is you right? Could you really gone in the boys' locker room somehow? Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
He's a freaking genius.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really have gotten in?
Ah! I got. She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
I'm sure that would have. No, I don't. She used the thing. Huh?
I'm talking about Leon's
Handbook. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room. No.
Should I not even bother with this, actually?
Really possible? Could Chihiro
I meant to
really
shoot,
have
by the
gotten
way,
in?
on
I got it. She
Taka's.
must have hacked her e-handbook.
Okay, we shouldn't have even bothered.
Shoot!
Broken for the e-handbook.
Could Chihiro really have?
She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate
Programmer. I'm sure that would have been.
No, I don't think she used the thing that
Because he's just right.
What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
We think it's broken, but
No, that's wrong.
hers is the one that's broken. I'm 2 steps ahead of you there.
No, I don't think
Dakota?
Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said.
Hers was the
She
broken
used her
one.
ultimate programmer skills and
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Hold on there, kiddo. That it then? Chihiro was killing the girls' locker room, and Byakuya's the one who really did it, really? I don't know what else you can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's
She is
no
the
way
world's
she
best
could get in
detective.
the boys' locker room, right? So
Or the ultimate detective.
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
what?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then.
I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Put back on that death trap in the elevator. Oh god, man.
Show us. It better not be boring, or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. I don't know how Kyoko in the lead, and we took us twice.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our
Jeffrey.
hands?
For me.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
Thank you, Sakura.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Can we have Toko back?
Okay, here I go.
I still kind of prefer the Italian comparing
Excuse the
cuisine.
intrusion.
Putting your hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What?
What's this? Oh.
This is...
I don't think it was not voice acted anymore.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
Is what?
a boy.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact. What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Based?
Oh, what? You guys didn't
2013.
know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Chihiro was actually a guy? Unless he wanted to be a she. Sure,
Because
this
the
is
victim was male,
2013.
He would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
He has a little sweat going.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
No, we were debated.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
The Spike solved it out to me too easily. I thought it was playing a kindergartner's game.
Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
I just don't see why.
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good,
And we
aren't
know
we?
it's
I
Zero
thought it
now,
was clear
obviously.
Byakuya did it.
Since
No,
he
I'm
first
with
said,
Makoto. If there's any
he
doubt
used
whatsoever,
Leon's.
we need to
Or
explore
they used
every
Leon's.
possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Byakuya didn't do it. He was a real killer who murdered Chihiro. Made sure he didn't know about the killer. Was able to gain access to the real murder.
I got it!
Crime scene was the boys' locker room. You wouldn't need a boys' handybook to get in. Leon's handybook was apparently broken. The killer would have had to use her own. In other words, you had to have been a guy. So enough to find some more clues.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the the killer? And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves. Game over, man.
Yay! No! Not game
Both seem to be fine. Who saw the killer? I don't think it really matters when we do it.
Well, did nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah.
It's over. It's all. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
No, that's not what I wanted to do.
Shoot!
I just tapped it, but I held it in too long.
Isn't
there a single clue?
Did nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah.
It's over. You want to know who saw the killer?
It's one of these two, obviously.
No, that's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Better get going, kind of a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Didn't have access to your
Probably
room.
because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Really hard to believe.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even
First of all, we know he was on his way, so next we have, why did he choose?
What do you mean,
I got it! It matched the one the culprit.
So, what you're... The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
I'm wrong?
Shoot!
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
I shouldn't believe we
First
do
of all,
this.
We know where Chihiro was headed.
Let's
He
get the
was
shot
on
out of
his way
here.
to go
So next we, why did he choose?
What do you mean,
I got it! It matched the one the culprit.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Am I dying here?
Shoot!
You didn't know. How did you know it was blue?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
I
He was
don't
on
know
his
what.
way to go
I take his
exercise.
black one and
So
shoot
next
the.
we have to ask, why did he choose
The specific.
What do you mean,
I got it! It matched the one the
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
I don't think we use the flashback. I think we just shoot the blue
We know where Chihiro was on his way, so
tracksuit
next
thing.
we, why did he choose?
What do you mean,
I got it! It matched the one that
So, what, the killer was wearing the same blue track?
No, that's wrong. Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Dumping a track jacket into the duffel bag? And then I assume we headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
The bros.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit
I was so
in his
set on,
hands.
Hino being the
No,
killer.
that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
Put the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. I didn't like that, and just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you
Ever since
just
they
ran
get,
into him briefly,
it's the same thing with
couldn't possibly have seen what color the
Saturday.
tracksuit was.
They give us one bit of information that it seemed like you would use it all the time. Okay, like related to this game, the flashback. And I think you gotta use the flashback every time. Continue.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
I like Mondo.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happen to refer to him as dude.
I don't remember even ever hearing Mondo speak during this
Once
entire
I picked
case.
up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... Here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing
Why would it be
from the
yours?
scene
I was
of the
muted.
crime, right?
Is that even an option?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbooks break? Only one possible explanation. Okay, sorry, it's the top one. I was embarrassed myself in front of everyone.
I got it!
Well, the weak point was a
You
bug.
told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let
I
that
thought
slip,
the handbook,
but I
the
never
weak point was a
told
bug.
anyone what the weak point actually was. But if the handbook
Like deleting System 32.
to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break! I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
We're in the sauna.
Because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
So Taka's and Mondo's are the broken ones, and they took Chihiro's and Leon's.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt.
I was wondering how that would,
It's because
relate.
as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke?
Dude, his face is frozen.
They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Mondo has her clothes
Someone
on.
who did.
Taco didn't.
Whoa! Seriously?
I forgot Taco didn't have his clothes
The
on.
one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Where the clothes into the sauna, it was Mondo. Where is